cannot be moved. They cannot be moved. They cannot be moved. From this time and forever, as long as the moon keeps time, you stand before me, the apple of my eye. You will not be moved. You will not be moved. You will not be moved. You will not be as the mountains surround Jerusalem, so Yahweh surrounds us. So His love enfolds us. So Yahweh indwells us. We cannot be moved. We cannot be moved. We cannot be moved. We will not be moved. Praise to Yahweh, who lives forever. He cannot be moved. He cannot be moved. He cannot be moved. Those who trust in Yahweh are like Mount Zion. Those who trust in Yahweh are like Mount Zion. Trust in Yahweh. Trust in Yahweh. In Yahweh. Trust in Yahweh. In
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason,
I'm kidding.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we thank you guys very, very much for being a part of this reading that we are about to do. This is an appointed time that has been given to us by our Creator. Once a week is a blessed reunion of those who are seeking to honor our Creator by doing what He says to do. And thank you guys very, very much for being a part of this reading. We are down and about. One of us in Boss Clan, one of us, the one that didn't fall, has fallen to a new type of cold. And so he's springing that one on us, and we're all trying to avoid the next kind of cold that is going on. It seems like they are getting a little stronger than they were back when I was a kid. But you know what? Our Creator has given us an incredible immune system, and I can't thank Him enough for building us in such a way, in such a fashion that we are able to survive things of this nature. So, Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Dear Father, thank you for this day, thank you for bringing us all together once again on the day you've chosen, the day you've set apart, the day you said this day is Kadosh, this day is the day you want us to celebrate on, this day you want us to spend with you, and you want us to meet as a people, to congregate as your people, as to be the people seeking after your Torah, seeking after righteousness, seeking after the ways of Yehoshua, the ways of the Torah. And we ask that you count it righteousness as us, that you put your ruach on us today to understand Torah and the words of your Son said, that we understand what it is you have set for us, that we are not guided away by evil, but you protect us and keep us on the narrow path. In Yeshua's name, amen.
All right, so here we are, guys. We are the family that believes that the first 5 books of instructions that people have said is called the law. It's actually, really, it's more of anything. It's a set of good instructions, and they begin in the Genesis, and it goes all throughout Scriptures, and it is inside of these first 5 books that you will find a foundational part of your life. You will find something that is stronger than anything you've ever encountered in your life. It is a way forward that is an immaculate way forward with a creator who has designed all of us in such a way that we are able to praise him, we are able to worship him, we're able to function. And with his beautiful creation and with his day of rest, Eli, will you please open us up with our Shema? And what this is saying, guys, it's saying hear and obey. And for those who do not know, you guys are potentially Yisrael. If you guys are those people who obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, you are Yisrael. Hit it.
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay. All right. So that is a wonderful thing that we have and that we have been told to do. One of the big things in here that it really impresses a lot of my brothers and sisters in chains is when I tell them about this verse and we talk about it. It says that you're supposed to impress them upon your children. And it continues on. It says you should speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. So essentially, everything that you do in the course of the day should be based upon the lenses of the Torah. It should be something that when we rise up in the morning, we are absolutely in prayer. We should be thinking about the Torah. We should be thinking about making sure that we are walking this Torah to the very best that we are able to do. And what we're going to go over right now is we are going to go over the amazing set of instructions. An amazing set of instructions that when I go over these things with my brothers in chains, they are very much eyes open. There's a lot of people inside of the prison system that their eyes are completely open when they hear things like this. Because in all this religion that we've been told, we weren't told about any of this. We didn't know this. The preachers and the pastors and the people up there who get paid 10% of people's money unbiblically, they have told us there's another way. And they give us our God, Paul. And in this God, Paul teaches everybody how to be lawless. And even though Paul doesn't actually say this, if you really study and you're astute in this, but what comes out as writing, when you only take 1/8 of the book, and that is your doctrine, you could very much get confused. And so when people learn that Paul is not their Elohim and that Paul's ways are not the ways of our Creator, it changes things. And a lot of people get real uptight about this when you start talking about Paul like this. But at the end of the day, if you're looking at an individual who probably didn't do what the world has done based upon his writings, I don't think Paul would have been okay having everybody taking letters that were written to some little itty bitty tiny ecclesia that was dealing with problems that we're not even addressing, that we don't even know what they were addressing, and then making doctrine out of it. I think Paul would be very upset about this entire thing, and he would send you back to the beginning of the book. He would say, look, read the book. I'm not your Elohim. I'm not your God. We have an Elohim. He is our leader. He's our supreme commander, and we also have his son, who is going to be the leader of the kingdom to come. And so if you want to be a citizen of the kingdom to come, if you want to be a people who is part of the kingdom to come, then we have a set of rules and regulations that we must keep. And when you look at these rules and regulations, they are extremely smart. They are very articulated. They are extremely precise. They tell us exactly how to deal with everything from the moment that we wake up to the moment that we go to bed and all the way to the moment that we die. It has instructions all the way for us that we need to understand and write upon our hearts, minds, and souls. And so it is with this that we will begin reading through these, and we will try to keep them we will try to keep them slow and precise in all of this. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Anything in the chat? I see Rick's in there. We're not under the law except
I
for
haven't said hi to anybody yet.
Oh, you better say hi to everybody before we go.
All right, so we have the judge, Candy and Ruby, Razul, Sarah Baker, Jeremy and Callan, Joanna, Jessica, it's a new name, welcome,
Hi, Jessica.
Merca, Silver Patriot.
I think it's America because it's supposed to be like America, so I
See,
think.
but I think it's Merca, but
You
I don't
think
know.
it-
It could be
all right.
either way.
All right. Much love to you, sis.
I think it's a guy, by the way, but I don't know.
It's a guy.
I don't know.
Oh well, brother or sister.
I guess
I never
we'll
get it
find
right.
out, baby.
I never get it right. Much love
Jason's
to you.
usually wrong, so
I
we'll
am.
see if I'm right or not. All right, Andy and Elizabeth, Heidi, Rick Johnson. I'm scrolling. Sylvia, we need to give her prayers for travel for her brother's funeral. He just passed away last night. Let's see. Brian, Honeymoon Stitch, Genie Out of This World, Walk in His Ways. Daniel, I think he was here last week, but he's fairly new, so welcome to you as well. WL, welcome. And I'm sorry,
And America is
a brother.
a dude,
I was
your brother.
right.
I was
right.
wrong. I was always wrong. I always call it out. I always get owned on it, and it takes me a little bit, because we don't exactly have pictures. I don't think, and if they do have pictures, I can't see it. Diabetes is kicking up, so it's tough. Okay, so here we are, guys. Thank you very, very much for joining us. This is an amazing family that we have. We consider all of you guys our family. We definitely look forward to this time that we have a set apart time that we can say the praises. We can say the greatness of our Creator. We can see the greatness of His ways. We can see the greatness of His ecclesias, the way that people come together and the way that He works in people's lives. It is simply amazing. And so there's no better time than right now to serve our Creator. There's no better time than right now to ditch the things of this world and to look to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And as we are all trying to make our way through these lands, without these laws, statutes, and commands, they don't make a lot of sense. They don't, when you look at what the world has presented to us and what the world has for us, with hundreds of thousands of different religions, like 40,000 different denominations of Christianity alone, every single one of these people have it wrong. How is this possible that we have all of these people and not a single person will ever read their scriptures and ditch religion? Religion is out, but Torah keeping is in. And what you guys will learn with Torah keeping is it's not a religion. This is not a raise your hand, once saved, always saved. This is not one of these things you're looking for a fake rapture with a fake school bus driver named Jesus that actually means the son of Zeus. We are looking for our Messiah, Yahushua. We are looking for the kingdom to come, and we are looking to be that. And the only way that we will be citizens is by being law-abiding citizens, by taking the good instructions that we have been provided with, applying them to our life, talking about them when we raise up, talking about them when we go to sleep, talking about them at all times. It is just what our part of life is. We are one with the Torah because that is our guidebook. And when we cross the lines of the Torah, well, we fall into curses, we fall into problems, and there's all sorts of physical and spiritual things that happen to us when we forsake the Torah. And all of my brothers in chains, I've talked about this before, but these guys, some dudes, are in there for forever, right? Some guys are on death row. Some guys are in there for 60 years sentences. But the one thing that not a single parent of any of these people did was ever instruct them in the ways of our Creator. Nobody that I've talked to in hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands and thousands of emails that I have done over the course of years, has anybody ever said, hey, my parents instructed me in the ways of Elohim. They sat me down and they said, look, these scriptures, these guideposts for life are for all of us. Nobody knows this. And so as we reach out to those in chains, as we reach out to those in the real world, and I tell my brothers in chains oftentimes that the people in the free world are more enslaved than these guys that are on death row. They don't have an idea about anything. They're stuck in their fake religion, and they're going to go to their deathbed serving a lowercase g God because they have never found the good ways of our Creator. So as we read through these, and we will try to go slowly through them, guys, this is what we are supposed to write upon our heart, mind, and soul. These Torah commands, so that we are not able to sin against our Elohim. We need to understand these because we don't want to what we want to adjust our ways for. And when scriptures say most people do not make the kingdom, that should be eyes for concern. Your eyebrows should be up. You should be very concerned as I am very concerned, because those are hard words to hear when we have so-called Christians and everybody's on their way. Everybody knows how to get salvation. In Christianity, you're going around, oh yeah, I helped these guys get saved. And that's the thing. They all have these little metrics of these little scorecards. Oh, how many people have you saved? They'll go to youth camps. They'll go to these vacation Bible schools. They will go to all these sermons and these like the big wigs that are out there, and everybody's out there just saving them all. But being saved from what? They're not being saved from anything, because if you are a lawbreaker, Messiah Yahushua in Matthew 7 says you'll go to hell. In fact, he reiterates it twice. You will go to hell. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. And so here we are learning what the law is. We are learning what iniquity is. And none of us even know what sin is unless we knew the Torah. So here we are. Let us get ready. Is there anything in the chat we need to chit-chat?
Jeannie wants to know, she's like, can you explain the Noahide laws, how we react to them? And Jeremy just told her that they're not biblical.
Isn't the Noahide laws the Jewish things where they have like, that's the thing. We don't hang with the Noahide laws. I've looked them up before, and it's like 100% Jewish. Look that up. Somebody look that up, what the Noahide laws are, will you? Or if any of you guys in there know what exactly the Noahide laws are. But I know that everybody thinks that we're going back to that, and everybody's like, oh, are you under the Noahide laws as well? Find that for me real quick, Eli, as we run through this. What are the Noahide laws?
Not to worship idols, not to curse God, not to commit murder, not to commit adultery or sexual immorality, not to steal, not to eat flesh torn from a living animal, to establish courts of justice.
Okay, so, I mean, those things actually sound like Torah. I mean, those things all sound like Torah, but I know there's something funny in the Noahide laws.
Jeremy says yes, Pharisee laws.
Yeah.
What it says here, according to the Talmud, the 7 laws were given first to Adam and subsequently to Noah.
Okay, so there we are. Right out of the gate, it says, read that again about where it came from.
According to the Talmud,
that's it. When you hear that, according to the Talmud, that's it. That's stop. We must stop right there. We are not in the Talmud, guys. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of other books and readings and writings and stuff that are breaking Deuteronomy 4:2. Simply by saying, okay, yeah, we're under the Noahide laws, or what they are, you're breaking Torah. Because, number one, we're under all of the laws. We're under about 158 that we can successfully do today that are not Talmudic. And that is one of the big things, is when you are talking like things of the Talmud, or you're talking like, say, Jews on themselves, you're only dealing with another religion. As I bash the 200,000 other religions out there, I wrap all of the Judaism up in that as well. They are just another satanic religion that has taken man-made laws and has gone against the ways of our Creator. And so you would only have the first 5 books of Scriptures. Now, when people are talking about, because I know everybody's like, oh, the Jews just want us to go under the Noahide laws. You're only talking like 7 of the laws. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of laws that we need to be under, that we are under. And you can either stay under them, or you can avoid them or nullify them and not care about them. And that is at the expense of your own soul. So yeah, we don't have anything that's Talmudic. We don't have anything that is outside of the first 5 books of Scripture as our doctrine. So hopefully that helps. Let's see, what else we got? Let's see, anything else? All right, so here we are. Here we are to the greatest things that we could ever be given. Guys, if nothing else that you get out of this is the greatness right here. Number 1.
Hold on. Jeannie says, I know, but Christians believe that they will get their heads cut off for worshiping Jesus. Jesus is still considered an idol. Will we be on that list to be decapitated too?
Yeah, I don't even know about what they're talking. I don't know what they've made up. The Christians make up all this stuff. Yeah, the Christians have made up a tremendous amount of stuff. Number one, this rapture that they're all going to be under is one big thing they made up. Having their heads lopped off because you love the guy named Jesus. I don't think that's going to happen, right? That's the thing, is everybody loves the Jesus. Everybody knows the Jesus, but nobody knows Messiah Yahushua. Right? It's a made-up person. The name, there's no J's in Hebrew, right? The 1500s was the first time we ever got the letter J. It didn't exist in any vocabularies of any kind of places anywhere. It's a recent letter. And prior to this, they had the name as Iesus, which is literally the son of Zeus. And so everybody's trying to sell us on these end-time things that, oh yes, they're going to come get us for the Jesus. But when you read Revelation, just the end of Revelation, it does talk about the people dying off, but it doesn't say anything like the Christians have proclaimed. Here's the bottom line, right? If it came to this, to where they were chopping heads off for the faith of our Messiah, they would start in the Catholic realm, right? Everybody in Catholics, they know the Jesus. That's what they preach, is the Jesus. And I say it like this, and I don't mean it in disrespect to our Messiah, because I'm not talking about our Messiah. I'm talking about the one that they created, that is the son of Zeus, that they have renamed. And it's just, I don't see prophecy going out like the Christians. I remember that, and being the Christians, being a Christian, is that everybody thought they were going to get their heads lopped off. I don't know if that's even biblical. I don't even know if that's even true. We do know that, again, according to Revelation, that when some of the saints are sitting there, how long will it be? And the answer is until everybody else is killed off. And so there's going to be a time that is coming. But what they are pushing is they are pushing the Jesus on everybody, right? They're pushing a universal one world religion that includes the Jesus, it includes Buddha, includes all of these other people. It's an inclusive religion of inclusivity. So everybody has a place and everybody has something, and you can all act as one big one world order. And here we are, right? And we're literally here. The day that Donald Trump got elected, Felon Musk gets up there and he goes, it's a new world order, right? He tweets about the new world order. You saw during the holidays when there's Halloween, Elon Musk dresses up in the Baphomet outfit in this thing. These people are all satanic, right? This getting them to get to the Jesus is exactly what they want, because nobody really knows what our Messiah wants. And our Messiah wants what his dad wants, and what his dad wanted for us was to be obedient. He wanted to raise up, he wanted to create a group of people who are willing to be loyal to him. That's the bottom line. Are we loyal or are we disloyal? If you have nailed the laws to the tree, you're disloyal. If you say the laws of our Creator are old and in the ditch, that's satanic, that's demonic. You're letting evil, unclean spirits come from your mouth. You've been led astray by doctrines of men. And so, I don't know. So, I didn't know he did that. Daughter of Abraham. Yeah, and so Felon Musk and Trumpster, those two are one side of the same coin. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Donald's the man. Guys, he's the biggest Luciferian Satanist that is out there, and am I the only one that's actually calling this out? I don't know.
You better be careful. Your channel might get...
Yeah, my channel might... Well, maybe Trump might get my channel stuck. I know there's things I can't talk... I can't talk about the colds, but I think I can talk about this. I can't talk about the other words either, but I think we can talk about Donald Trump being a Satanist, maybe, but if not, if the channel disappears, then you know this was the truth. So let's continue on. This is where we're going right here with this. Anyone else before we start rolling these? Okay. All right, here we are, guys. Commandment number 1, or rules of instructions number 1, the greatest things we can ever hear of, number 1, be fruitful.
Multiply. Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living thing.
There are bearing, and every tree is for food. Man and woman should build their own families. Master sin. Every clean moving thing that lives shall have food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Okay, and let's look right above that. Walk before me and be perfect is a beautiful commandment, right? This is what our Creator wishes for us, and this is why we've been given 120 years to figure this out. This is why there's dudes and chicks in the penitentiary systems that are having these Bibles, and they're reading them and they're grabbing them, and they're coming to the understanding that how we walked and what we did prior to our Torah-based walk is not perfect. It is not good. When we come from the indoctrination of the cult of Satanism of Christianity, and again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend everybody, but any time that you say the laws of our Creator are, you've fallen into a satanic trap. Whoever has said it is full of unclean spirits, because that is the farthest thing from the truth, because we've been told for all generations and all generations and all generations that we are to keep statutes and commandments. We need to impress them into the hearts, minds, and souls of our children, and we need to walk them. And again, this commandment says, walk before me and be perfect. That's a very hard thing to do. All of us are very imperfections. We have problems. All of us live in Babylon. We're surrounded by Gentiles, raging Gentiles that are just happy to wish you merry traditions of men, happy slew years, all of these horrible things that are not. This is not our new year. This is not any of the stuff. So as we learn to walk before our Creator and be perfect, we're giving up all of this stuff of the world. We're giving up all of these things that we've been indoctrinated to. All of these things our parents have taught us. It's just out the way. Continuing on, it goes into guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. Reiterated more times than any other command in scriptures at all. And this is one of these things that when people say that the laws are gone, you just want to punch them in the mouth. I'm sorry for saying that, but it says right here to guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. And you don't guard them by going, oh yeah, the laws are dead. That means nothing. No, you got to defend this, right? This is not something that you do. And there's a brother in chains who I was talking to this week. He got into a little bit of a spiffy fit because he ended up in this Ephesians group or something inside of a faith-based system. And some guy was sitting there saying, oh yes, the laws are dead. And so homeboy jumps up in front of 35 people and he's like, he breaks it down to the point they had to disband this particular meeting at that point. And they had to take this guy and the guy that he was telling. And he's like, Jason, what do I do? How did I do this wrong? And I'm like, bro, I think you did it right. I think you did exactly what you should have done. You called these guys out on Front Street. And that's the thing, is we live in the society of weakness, and everybody's like, oh, I'm looking for subscribers and I'm looking for views. I don't want to offend anybody. Yo, we're here to offend everybody, right? Boss Clan is the offensive group because we are preaching it, teaching it right from the word. And the word is very clear. When you say the laws are dead, and it says right here over 53 times to guard these, everything, that means you fight for the Torah, guys. These are our words from our Creator. Who in the world ever has the authority to say they're dead? That is insane. Continuing on, every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach them the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach. These are our appointed times that we have. We don't have Easter, Christmas, all these pagan Gentile stuffs. We don't want to be raging Gentiles, guys. And I offended a whole bunch of people because I put out that thing about New Year's, right? Everybody's waiting, oh, Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's. Guys, it comes from the depths of pagan society. And I had some Christian get on there and go, oh, Jason, you're just judging everybody. And I'm like, I'm judging based upon the book. I am told in a commandment that we need to rebuke our neighbor for our sin. And if you're sitting there having festivals with holly over the top of your head and doing all the same stuff the pagans do, then you are a pagan. Accept that. Continuing on. Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn, Yahuwah.
Going back up, there's one Torah law for the stranger and the Hebrew. Guys, this destroys religion. This destroys Christians, Catholics, Muslims, Buddhists, every bit of the religion that is out there. You name it. You put it down there. This destroys it. Why? Because right here it says we have one set of doctrine. We don't have a set of doctrine that says we should worship on a Sunday. We don't have a set of doctrine that says all food has been made clean, and so we eat nasty food that will kill us. We have one set of laws. If you want to be a citizen of the kingdom to come, these laws are for you. If you don't, if you want to be a citizen of hell, then everyone can continue on in their ways, and they can live like the Gentiles and have a crazy life here, and that's all you're going to get. Next, sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones for Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with a beast.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Bake no covenant with other Elohim or outside of the land.
Do not make your use of anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make your use of perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. They're very good. There's a huge chapter that tells you exactly what to eat, what not to eat. And in that chapter, it actually tells you what is food, right? We know what food is. Pig isn't food, shellfish, clams, catfish. I don't think giraffes? Giraffes?
No.
I don't think giraffes are clang. Probably shouldn't eat hippos either. There's all these things that there's food. We have things that are food, things that eat a special way, things that have a special diet. The things that we don't eat are usually things that rip other flesh and dead flesh up, and they're able to eat and keep alive with a whole bunch of diseases in them. They're built to actually live with the diseases, and then we go and pop them in our mouth, and we end up in the hospital, end up staph infection, and end up dead. And then you end up in hell because you were sitting there eating you were just not caring about the ways, and that's how it happens. Okay.
You have 2 questions.
All right, what do we got?
All right, one is Donna. She says, "Are we in the age of the Gentile?"
I think we're lived in the age of the Gentile. I mean, how is this not? I mean, I think the age of the Gentile has been forever and ever and ever. Are we in the satanic age? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how we couldn't be. You know, you have the side of Yahuwah, and then you have all the rest, and the other side has this goat god. They call him the Baphomet, and they all worship this evil-looking woman-man goat. And then they all worship Satan. Every one of these people are dressing up. They all put 666. That, like Donald Trump, you guys, when he's flashing his 666 sign all the time, when everybody thinks it's the AOK sign, for those who are in the occult, you absolutely know that when you are doing that occultic sign, which he has done from the very beginning, that's a 666. We are in the age of complete deception, and I would guess we are wandering down. So, yeah, I guess we are in the raging days of the Gentiles. So, what's the next question?
All right, next question is from Sarah. Jason, why do the Jewish not eat any dairy for 6 hours after they eat any meat?
No idea. Probably something in the Talmud. I mean, that's when, again, I haven't delved too deep in the Talmud. I've gone into some stuff like the Sanhedrin. Let's see, what is it? Sanhedrin 25b or something of the sort, where it says you can have sex with little girls that are 3 years old. That's in the Talmud as well. That's what I use to show other people, like, hey, you probably shouldn't be reading the Talmud if we're, because everything that is in there is bad. And so that's why they end up with thousands and thousands and thousands of rules and regulations when you are in the religion of Judaism. And that's the same as on a Shabbat. Instead of us just being able to rest and chill out, they will literally have people they will pay to turn the lights on and off in their house. Literally, this is what they do. They will hire a Gentile, a goyim, what they call them. And again, when you read their books, their extracurricular books, where you get things like drinking milk for 6 hours after whatever it is they're eating, I have no idea why that is. Something that came out of that, but it's a whole bunch of rules and regulations that mean zilch, which is why our Messiah was always battling these Pharisees and Sadducees, who were the religious zealots of their time. The same thing is happening today. I think we just live in a complete Gentile world. So
Right,
hopefully that helps.
Nancy G wants to know, are mushrooms clean or unclean?
I think they're clean.
I think they would be clean.
Yeah, mushroom.
Don't eat the poisonous ones.
Well, don't eat the poisonous ones, and don't eat the ones that trip you out.
I think that's what she means. She just says mushrooms question marks.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I don't.
That's what she
Yeah,
means.
we don't have anything in Torah that says not to eat the mushrooms. We have, obviously in all things, right? We don't have a Torah commands that don't say eat like poison ivy and things like that. So I mean, it's one of those things that we would, there's a place and a time for absolutely everything. Mushrooms, I think, are clean as good.
And then, who was it? Stella said that she heard that a person teaching Torah says butter is not to be eaten.
Yeah, see,
I think
that's all out of the Talmud, right? That's all out of the Talmud and stuff.
And then, daughter of Abraham just says, what advice do you have to those who are living with people who think the law is done away with?
It's hard. It's hard. In scriptures, it tells us completely about unyoked relationships and about toughness. And I hear about at least once every 2 weeks, I talk to somebody out there who is in a relationship with a spouse, and they're either keeping Torah or they're coming out of Christianity. And the thing is, guys, it's not a fast road for everybody, and not everybody has the ability to wake up. And And I maybe should say it a little differently. I do believe everybody has the ability to wake up. But we read things like in the book of the Nazarene that our Creator has built into man the instinctive instincts to go seek Him out. There's always that nagging feeling that we should be looking somewhere, doing something. And the problem with any religion, especially where they think the laws are done away with, is they have been programmed by the voice of the devil. And when you are programmed, and if you are not truly seeking your Creator, the shades will never go off your eyes. You'll never ever be able to put on the glasses that show what the truth is. And so it's really, really hard. And what I tell those who are in those kind of relationships and this kind of stuff is start with reading scriptures as a family. Start, if you're able to get them together on a nightly reading, that you guys can begin from the front of the book and go the first 5 books and then do the first 5 books several times. I tell everybody, to get a decent understanding of what the Torah is, it needs to be read at least 5 times as a love letter from your Creator to you, as an instruction manual, as something that we have of value. Because when we always thought that the laws were dead and that we had everyone lying to us and this, we put no value on this. And so we go to sleep. We start reading this stuff and like, oh man, this is really boring. But when you read it as real time instructions for today and right now, it becomes something totally different. And when our souls depend upon our abilities to understand and to grasp it and to write it on our hearts and to make these changes, not everybody's able to make these changes. And so I guess prayer is the biggest thing. Send it up to Yah. Always read scriptures. I don't think you can tell anybody who's been programmed in a cult that the laws are good. They will look at you, they'll cross their eyes, they will laugh, they will scoff. They've all been programmed to laugh at you, right? They've been programmed to go, oh yeah, ha ha ha. That's the thing of the old people. So it's not good. All right, continue on. What do we have here?
I think you can
Am I
go.
good?
I think you answered everything.
Okay.
Except there is one. Yahushua HaMashiach is my Savior says, does the RSTNE have the Talmud in it?
So that's the thing about the RSTNE is when we started looking at that, we actually busted that guy for grifting the people, and that's why we put the RSTNE out for free, is because he kept doing these scams on these people. And so when we started reading it, we actually ripped it off right out of the gate, because we scanned it all, we put it up, Eli put it up. I don't think we scanned it, I don't know how we got it, but we put it up, and then when I started reading it, there was so much stuff in there that looked very Talmudic that I took it offline. And then I was like, well, I don't know if this is doing a service to anybody that's actually trying to see it. So I put it back up online. But the guy that runs this is a straight up Jew. So he's a rabbi. He calls himself a rabbi. And so this is a rabbi that has put this together. And so it's not clean doctrine. It's things that have been tampered with. People that come out of Judaism are the same that come out of Christianity. You have all these different rules. You have all these different regulations. An example of this is Paul. Paul writes in a lot of his, you can tell he was a Talmudic Jew because he writes things about like women not talking in groups or congregations, right? He's like, oh, don't let the women talk. And he has all these things about like you have to be considered a widow, you have to go through a whole bunch of qualifications and stuff. I think that's all in Timothy. But it doesn't make any sense unless you know that Paul was extremely Talmudic, and so he was always fighting with those kind of doctrines as well, because we don't have anything that says women shouldn't speak in a public forum or anything of the sort. Lots and lots of stuff that Paul, there's like 8 or 9 things of points in Paul's that we did reasons on a long time ago, and they just don't appear in Torah. And so where do you get them? More than likely you got them from the Talmud. All right, let's continue on.
What I want to know is the guy MJ, the guy who has RSTNE. I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. Is it Moshe or something like? Isn't his name Moshe?
Yeah, Moshe. Last name starts with a K.
Yeah, I don't know what his name. He goes to Rabbi Moshe or something of the sort. So, all right.
All right.
Questions? Okay. All right, let's keep going. Okay, women's time of separation, guys. We're still going through the laws. Stay away from them, right? They need their time to cycle. That is the rules of our Creator.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with the woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be a Kodesh.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage; they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Do not rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
See, and this is one of these things right here. You have the Christians are like, oh, you're judging us. You're like, hey, man, you shouldn't be eating pork. That's an unclean food. You'll get hurt. Like, oh, judge not, lest ye be judged. Well, if we're going to be judged by the Torah, I'm good with it, right? That's what we will be judged by. And in the Torah, we have this little command here that talks about rebuking our neighbor for a sin. You see a neighbor over there, and there's a little girl, and he's molesting the little girl. You got to deal with that, right? You're not to just let that go. When somebody is sitting there, even though it offends them, like that brother in prison did that offended 35 of those guys at the same time, look, the laws aren't dead. They're not gone. If you want to tell a whole bunch of people the laws are dead and gone, there should be that other person that's saying, hey, that's a lie from the pits of the devil's mouth. And the laws are good for all times and for all generations. Continuing on, love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not averse your cattle.
Do not mingle their seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard to the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Overcount, and Pentecost.
Keep the Feast of Trumpets.
Keep the feast of
Or
Sukkot.
Yom Teruah. Sorry.
Keep the feast of Sukkot. Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
That's a big one. How many people would be dead? We'd all probably be dead, right? Blasphemy. Oh, the laws are gone. They're on the cross. That's like literally saying the words of our Creator mean nothing. That probably would be a death sentence. I mean, if you were back in the camps, imagine that you like walked in the camps in there and start screaming to people that the laws of the Creator are dead. They're gone. They'd pick up the rocks and they'd be chucking them at you. You'd be running for your life. Okay, if you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Yobel, Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear easy on 4 corners of your garments.
The Torah of whoever touches a corpse.
Keep your oath, Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word. Guys, this is a huge thing, right? I talk about it all the time. This is nearing the end of the Torah, right? We're in the book of Deuteronomy, and we have all of these things that are outside influences in all of our lives. Everything that we have learned as people that have grown up in a Gentile world is absolutely taken away from the word. Worshiping on a Sunday, taken away from the word. Eating unclean foods, taken away from the word. Keeping Christmas, New Year's, Easter, taken away from the word. Adding in stuff, right? You have the Christians that have added completely in, like Sunday worship. That's adding to it, right? You've taken away from the word, but you've added back into it your own ways and your own thing. And this goes to the detriment of the next one, which is to guard your soul. We have one thing that we can take out of this world with us, and that is our soul. The same thing that our Creator has breathed into us, the precious breath of life that He has given us a gift with. That's what we have that we can protect. If you're putting the laws on the cross, you are absolutely not guarding your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah, the laws, upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes. Literally, make them everything that you look at the world through. You don't look at the world through another litmus test unless you see it through the eyes of the Torah. If what you're doing is violating and making our Creator angry, obviously we wouldn't want to tempt our Creator, and we would want to make sure we're doing it right.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by His name.
Destroy great images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not harden the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year. This kills off all of the preachers and the pastors, all these guys in the 501c3s that are all sitting there running their little, right before you get done with church, they'll all break out the plates, and you have all these so-called deacons, and they all go from side to side, and they pass that plate there. You know, some people actually reach in there and take that. But this is all wrong, right? If you wanted to support somebody who is actually biblical, and number one, the people in the pulpits are Satanists. I know that sounds hard. I know that sounds very harsh, but I know that everybody that knows Torah understands this, right? You can't be sitting there dooming people's lives to hell and telling them they're all saved for 1 hour a day and then take them downstairs for their pig potlucks, right? And so if this was a biblical time, you'd be giving this guy some seed, you give him some new oil and some grain, right? This is what you'd be giving these people, because it was never to make these filthy, dirty scoundrels rich, which is what they are, completely rich. All of these preachers, all these pastors, 10% of a person's wage, when you multiply that by 100, if you had 100 people in that congregation, you're doing pretty darn good, right? You're doing great, but that's all unbiblical. It's all satanic. Get out of these churches. Save yourself. Flee the Babylon system. Okay, the law of the end of the 7-year release. Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor show your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses to establish a situation.
You hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Private test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is the adult portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman shall not wear pertains to a man, nor a man wear pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for pledge.
If you lend your brother to enter his house to get your payment, he must bring it to you and return it before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, we will read the Torah at the Feast of Coat, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right. So there we are, everyone. We made it through these amazing resources that we have right here. And it is simply amazing, right? And for those who say the laws are on the cross, which law do you guys want to start with, right? Which is something that makes you uncomfortable? What is something that you wouldn't want to be judged by? Because we will be judged by all of these. This is what Scripture says. This is how we will be judged, and which is why it's simply amazing that we don't have to wonder exactly how it's going to go down, right? Living as a Christian, you're like, wow, I hope I can make it. I hope I'm accepted. Or, you think based upon the liars in the pulpits that you are accepted and that no man can ever snatch salvation out of your hands, when there's a tremendous amount of things inside of Scriptures that very much tell you that you can be told to depart from our Messiah. And that is absolutely salvation being snatched out of the palm of the Father's hands. So let's continue on. What do we got?
Daughter of Abraham wants to know, what advice do you have when ministering to someone who uses substances?
Oh, that's hard. Well, I guess it all depends on what substances we're talking about, right? There's a lot of different substances. You have the stuff that is given to you by the little fellas in the white coats, and those things are as dangerous as the stuff that is on there. We've dealt with people that are on Xanax before, and they have their little white coat people, and they're like popping Xanax pills. I mean, some of these guys were popping like 8 or 9 of these a day. And when they had to come off of them, I guess there's 2 different drugs that you can't just go cold turkey, or they say you can't go cold turkey with. One is a heavy alcoholism, and the other one is benzoids and those kind of opiates where you will literally go into seizures. But having said that, I did know this guy that was completely hooked very much on him, and I encouraged him to go cold turkey. And he did go cold turkey. He ended up with a couple seizures. He came back with black eyes and things of this nature, but he never went back onto these things. And these things had hooked him and his mom and his family for years and years and years, decades. And so all of it's going to depend on a lot of the stuff. Number one is the biggest thing that people can do is read their scriptures. And if you have people that are around you that are on substances that are you're just trying to get off, the first thing is we need to indoctrinate people with the ways of our Creator, right? A lot of people don't know these things. A lot of people, we have a command that taking care of our temple, not to defile our temple, things of this nature. It's a process. It is very, very much a process. And those who are on substances, you can't just get them off. The outside world and those who do not understand addiction and those who have not been with addiction, it is very hard to understand what the mind of an addict is like. But the mind of an addict is far different than any of our minds. And it takes about 6 months before the left side of our brain will actually repair itself to where we have an off. Those who have been addicted to any kind of substances at all, you kill this part of your brain, the left part of your brain that is the off. So you don't actually know what off is. And so we're stuck. Those who are stuck in these substances, the only way I think you're going to get free of them is by scriptures and by prayer and by wanting to come out of it. You're never ever going to be able to stop any of these substances. Like if you're dealing with somebody that enjoys getting high, enjoys whatever they're on, I don't think you're going to be able to make those changes. But the changes that you can make with them is if you're able to read scriptures with them, right? Every opportunity that you have, sit down and read it. Even if they nod off, even if they're not coherent, they don't even want to. The more that we can read scriptures and the more that we can try to help those understand the ways of our Creator, that's the only way. But it is trying to get through to people that are addicts. It's a very slow process, and it's something that has to be very delicately done. Because it is very, very hard to come off that stuff. Okay, hopefully that helped. I don't know. So 9 years now, still a former addict. Yeah, a lot of us have come out of Babylon. A lot of us have hooked on stuff. I'm a drug professional. I came out of Babylon hooked on just about everything. And so it is something that it changes your life, it changes your lifestyle, and you become the drug that you are using. And so it just becomes a part of your life. And to ever escape that, you have to make changes. And there are, with prayer and somebody that wants to truly quit, it is possible, but it's hard. It is really, really hard. Okay. Let's continue on. Motrin for years. Joanna hasn't taken Tylenol Motrin. That's probably good. That stuff all kills your liver. It's all very unhealthy. Okay. Let us begin. Okay, guys, we're into Numbers 3. Kate, can you give me a breakdown of where we are at in Torah right here with where things are popping?
So Moses get the Israelites out of Egypt. They went into Mount Sinai and they got their commands.
Sorry, guys. I just tipped our tablet over. Get closer, please.
They got the commands. They got to know what Levi's supposed to do. They're now learning how to perform as people of Yah, how to perform as the people that are set apart. Now they're numbering the army and getting to know what the rest of their missions are as the people of Yah.
Okay, and this. Let me. Jeannie's talking about. I have to take meds for that. I get migraines. Yeah, and a lot of people do. Here's something that a lot of people don't know, and the coffee is very, 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 very bad for you. Caffeine is very, 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 very bad for you. The second you drink caffeine, under about a minute or so, you have about 50% less oxygen flowing through your brain, which is why if you don't drink coffee and you get a migraine, you can simply take a little itty bitty shot of a cappuccino or heavy coffee, and that should do as good as the pills, and it should be less side effects. But if you guys are drinking coffee, I would again strongly urge you as an ex-fiend of coffee and let you know that there's a different way and that you actually feel way better sober. Coffee is a drug like anything else, guys. And again, as an ex-drug professional, it's a low-grade amphetamine is all you're dealing with here. It is. Anything that is an amphetamine at all, you can just kick it up. They have different levels of it, but coffee is absolutely an amphetamine that it changes you, right? And I don't think it's healthy. I don't think we are ever supposed to have 50% less of oxygen flow in our brains. And, coffee drinkers will go, cheers, have another drink. So anyway, just a note. Okay, here we are, guys. Numbers 3. And these are the generations of Aaron and Moshe when Yahuwah spoke with Moshe on Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadav, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the anointed Kohanim, whom he ordained to act as Kohanim, as priests. And Nadav and Abihu had died before Yahuwah when they brought strange fire before Yahuwah in the wilderness of Sinai. All right, anybody, boys, recount the strange fire incident.
These two were obviously drinking.
More than likely, they were probably a little bit sauced up.
and then they decided they were going to make it their own custom sacrifice. They were going to do something different than what was told, and they threw that whatever the ingredients or spice on. Yahuwah disregarded that and burned them alive.
Yeah, and so basically, right after this incident, when Abihu and who's it, Nadab got burned up, one of the things was that our Creator told Aaron was, don't mourn for these guys, don't rent your clothes, don't show emotion in front of everybody, because what they had done is they really profaned the way that our Creator has set up things. And right after this incident, our Creator banned drinking in this presence of when you're doing temple work like this. Continuing on. And they had no children. So Eleazar and Ithamar acted as Kohen in the presence of Aaron their father. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, bring the tribe of Lewi near, and put them before Aaron, and serve him, and shall guard his duty and the duty of all the congregation of the tent of appointment to do the service of the Mishkan. And they shall guard all the furnishings of the tent of appointment, and the duty of the children of Israel to do the service of the Mishkan. You shall give the Lewites to Aaron and his sons. They are the given ones given to him from among the children of Israel. And appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard their kahuna, the priesthood, and the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, now look, I myself have taken the Lewites from among the children of Israel instead of every firstborn who opens the womb among the children of Israel, and the Lewites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. On the day that I struck all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, I kadosh to myself all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. They are mine. I am Yahuwah. And this is why we have the command about redeeming the firstborn. There's something about the firstborn that our Creator has basically taken for himself. 14. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, register the children of Lewi by their fathers' houses, by their clans. Register every male from a month old and above. Now, what's different between this right here and what we had just done?
This is a different register of the children of Levi, right? We're now finding out who all the people are in their house, right? Everyone that is a month old and above instead of the army. This is going to be who is able to work in the Kohina, who's going to work in the temple.
Yep. And so in the previous chapters, when our Creator was numbering all the 11 tribes of Yisrael, he was numbering their armies. He was putting them in order, finding out who was who. He knew who was who, but he was basically putting it for the people so they know who their army was. Now, this is a different kind of an army. This is an army of the temple. This is an army of our Creator. This is the people that were meant to be the liaisons between us and the Creator. And so now we are actually, what we're doing now is we are actually registering all of them, figuring out who they are, and basically building this temple army. 16. So Moshe registered them according to the word of Yahuwah, as he had been commanded. And these were the sons of Lewi by their names, Gershon and Kehath and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their clans, Livni and Shimni. And the sons of Kehath by their clans, Amram and Yitzhar, Kebron and Uzziel. And the sons of Merari by their clans, Makali and Mushi. These are the clans of the Lewites by their fathers' houses. From Gershon came the clan of the Livnites and the clan of the Shimnites. These were the clans of the Gershonites. Their registered ones, according to the number of all the males from a month old and above, their registered ones were 7,500. The clans of the Gershonites were to camp westward behind the Mishkan. And the leader of the father's house of the Gershonites, Eliasaph, son of Lael. And the duty of the children of Gershon in the tent of appointment was the Mishkan, and the tent with its covering, and the covering of the door of the tent of appointment, and the screens of the courtyard, and the covering of the door of the courtyard, which is around the Mishkan and the altar, and their cords according to all its service. And from Kehath came the clan of the Amorites, and the clan of the Yitsharites, and the clan of the Kebronites, and the clan of the Uzzielites. These were the clans of the Kehalites. In number, all the males from a month old and above were 8,600, guarding the duty of the Kodesh place. Okay, so this gives us an idea of exactly how many people were there to deal with this. And I think 8,000 was all of them, wasn't it? Was this the whole thing? Is that what you guys got, or is it?
Just the.
Is that the last one?
That's just the Kehathites.
Okay, so what are the other numbers?
The Gershonites were 7,000. We still have one more left.
Okay, so there's 15,000 so far people that were people of the tent, people of Yah. The clans of the children of Kehath were to camp on the south side of the Mishkan, and the leader of the father's house of the clans of the Kehathites was Elitzaphan, son of Uziel, and their duty was the ark, and the table, and the lampstand, and the altars, and the utensils of the Kodesh place, used in the service, and the covering, and all its service. And Eliab be chief over the leaders of the Lewites, with the duty of the Kodesh place. From Merari came the clan of the and the clan of the Mushites. These were the clans of Merari, and the number of their registered ones, all the males from a month old and above, were 6,200. So it looks like what we have 21,000 basically is what 1,000 people that were taking care of this side of the house, and there was a lot of work. There's tremendous amounts of work. You don't just have the guys that are slaughtering and doing all the stuff. You have all the other people that are dealing with all the side stuff that takes all of it to make this big system work. And the leader of the father's house of the clans of Merari was Suriel, son of Avihaikelia. That was hard. These the underlined B's and the H. So how would you say it, Eli? Avikaya. These were to camp on the north side of the Mishkan. And the appointed duty of the children of Merari was the boards of the Mishkan and its bars and its columns and its sockets and its utensils and all its service. And the columns of the courtyard all around with their sockets and their pegs and their cords. And those who were to camp before the Mishkan on the east, before the tent of appointment, were Moshe and Aaron and his sons, guarding the duty of the Mikdash and the duty of the children of Israel. But the stranger who came near was to be put to death. All the registered ones of the Lewites, whom Moshe and Aaron registered at the command of Yahuwah by their clans, all the males from a month old and above, were 22,000. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, register all the firstborn males of the children of Israel from a month old and above, and take the number of their names. And you shall take the Lewites for me. I am Yahuwah. Instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel and the livestock of the Lewites, instead of all the firstborn among the livestock of the children of Israel. So we basically have one full tribe that is dedicated to the ways of our Creator, and this was obviously a far different than most people even understand. And we're only dealing with your 22,000 right here, but then you have all the wives and the other people who. So there's probably, what do you guys guess, like 40,000 maybe? 40,000 or so Lewites that are back there. Kind of a guess. I don't know if we ever get the number. 40. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, register all the firstborns of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and above, and take the number of their names, and you shall take the Lewites for me. I think I already read this. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's start at 42. Let's pay attention, Eli. And Moshe registered all the firstborn, 42, among the children of Israel as Yahuwah had commanded him. And all the firstborn males by the number of names from 1 month old and above of their registered ones were 22,273. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, take the Lewites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Lewites instead of their livestock, and the Lewites shall be mine. I am Yahuwah. And for the ransom of the 273 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, who are more than the number of the Lewites, you shall take 5 shekels for each one. Now we're talking about a redemption. We're talking about how do we redeem a life of the firstborn. So he says, you shall take 5 shekels for each one, head by head. Take it by the shekel of the Kodesh place, the shekel of 20 gerahs. And you shall give the silver, the ransom of those who are in excess among them, to Aaron and his sons. And Moshe took the ransomed silver from those who were over and above those who were ransomed by the Lewites. From the firstborn of the children of Israel, he took the silver, 1,365 pieces, according to the shekel of the Kodesh place. And Moshe gave the ransom silver to Aaron and to his sons, according to the word of Yahuwah, as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. Now, this is a almost kind of a tax thing as well as a redemption thing, because we have a monetary value that is redeeming these people in the eyes of our Creator, and the money is going into the hands of Aaron, which more than likely goes into the hands of the temple. I don't think Aaron was sitting there getting all of the cash into this. I don't think he would have a need for this, but I think it's what he put into it to continue to run the endeavor and to run all of this stuff. All right, let me look into chat real quick, and then we will jump into...
So the daughter of Abraham said she wanted to know What are biblical views on bipolar disorder and schizophrenia? And Joanna and Sylvia were just saying that it's probably demonic possession.
So
Type of thing.
we live in a world that is very medicated world. We live in a world where people they will say, oh man, this kid's he's a little frisky, he's a little feisty. Let's give him some methamphetamines. And what they will do is they will give him Ritalin, right? And Ritalin is a methamphetamine. And so you have all these kids that are already a little spunky, and then they're like, well, let's see how do we stop somebody that's already a little spunky? Well, let's give them a little extra spunky, right? And then all of a sudden we have all of these things, and the thing is, based upon the things that have happened to us as babies, the things that we have been given, the stuff that I can't even say on YouTube, stuff about all of this, there's a lot of stuff that probably are not, they're not legit, right? They're things that we do know of unclean spirits. We do know Messiah dealt with a lot of unclean spirits, people that couldn't even talk, people that were eating their own flesh, people that were going crazy. And Messiah was able to get that out of there. I don't know what the Bible says about this. I do know that our Creator would be able to heal everything. If so, that we were able to seek His ways and seek His attentions. But, that goes contrary to what the medical establishment would have you say, right? I mean, there's a pill if you're hungry. There's a pill if you're not hungry. There's a pill if you're just for everything, right? Every single thing that we have here has some sort of a little white pill that we're supposed to be taking to save us. And a lot of these things that we have taken have caused a lot of the things that we have in today's world. And again, a lot of the stuff that happened as babies that we had no choice of even taking has caused a lot of things in this world. So I guess I don't know. I don't think I have. There's not much in the Bible about like truly crazy people. Like it doesn't like people, especially. And I'm not saying bipolar people are different. And bipolar keeps getting a different definition because one thing is it's kind of people with split personalities, but bipolar can also just mean somebody with depression. And they say that a guy with heavy depression is bipolar. But you'll find everybody with a different definition regarding what it is. I would take everything to our Creator. I would take everything to Him in prayer. For those that are struggling with these kind of things, I would always stick with Scriptures, right? If we're not foundationally just really into this Torah, that's the first place that all of us need to be, right? If we're trying to fix issues and we don't even know the ways of our Creator, we don't even know what to fix. We don't know that prayer can solve absolutely everything. And so when we take it up to our Creator, I believe that is going to be better than these white coats that are out there trying to give us all their stuff. I don't know if that helps or not, but trying to tiptoe around these these things. Let's see. And I have never medicated him. I pray over him. Yeah, there's a lot of people with autism. What is it, like 1 in 9 kids now has autism? And I'm not going to get into this on YouTube. I can't. I would love to. I would love to say some truth here, but I absolutely can't, or this channel will be completely gone. So I guess we will leave it at this part and stick with prayer and stick with our Creator. He's our Creator and Messiah. Those are the good doctors, the real good doctors. Those are the ones we want. All right, let's get into the book of Mark and let us hit the recap. Caden, hit me up. What you got?
So the last chapter, we got like a quick rundown of Yahushua. He met John the Baptist. He met people with leprosy, healed them. He did some teaching, some miracles, was driven out of a little congregation because the way he spoke about things, the way he spoke to them, all like that, and drove them out because it went against their old traditions. Then he went on doing more miracles and teaching people. Yeah,
and so here we are, guys. This is one of these amazing books. I love the books with our Messiah. We have a Messiah who is, he's been labeled as this lovey-dovey, merciful rebel of our Creator. That is what the fake liars and the Christians and all the religions have told us. When in fact, Messiah, he was definitely full of love. He was definitely full of compassion. He was definitely full of the Torah. And the Torah is what he grew up with. And before creation was ever created, our Creator and His Son were established. There was a place, there was a location, things were happening. It may not make sense in our time frame because 120 years for us seems like a long time when more than likely our Messiah and his pops have been hanging out for it's just more time than we can even understand. But I say this because he grew up, Messiah grew up with the Torah. We learned from the Apocrypha that the Torah was not something that was made right here. It was made long before creation. It's something that the spiritual realm, the good spiritual realm, they keep a Shabbat. Right now, you have a whole bunch of messengers. You have a whole bunch of places right now that are keeping Shabbat. It's not just us being lonely right here. All of the good creations of our Creator have set apart this appointed time. And now we have the words of our Messiah who knows all this. This is why when Messiah says stuff, we need to take note. We need to understand that it's nothing new. Messiah never tells us things that are like, oh, you shouldn't hear. All food has been made clean, right? He never said that. None of this has ever happened. And so when people are coming up with these things of this almost like a hippie Jesus, right? The hippie Jesus loves everybody. That's not who our Messiah is. Our Messiah is he's a savage. He's a savage for the Torah. He's a savage for the ways of our Creator. And this is what we need to be. We need to be savages for this word. Mark 2:1. And some days later, he again entered into Capharnaum, and it was heard that he was in the house. Who's he? This is talking about Messiah, right? We are talking about the days of Messiah, and I've mentioned this before, but Messiah was a celebrity. He was far more of a celebrity than any of these demons that you see today flashing the 666 and doing all their blood rituals. This was the real celebrity, and wherever he went, he couldn't find any peace. And so it would have been really hard to be Messiah because he wouldn't just get in a car and drive away. He couldn't get out of this. Where he went, he's on foot. And so people were flocking to him. 22. And so many gathered together that were there, that there was no more room, not even at the door. And he spoke the word to them. What word did he speak to them? It's a capital W.
The Torah.
Yeah, the Torah. There's no other word. So Messiah is sitting here reading the word. He's reading scriptures to these guys, right? He's telling them the Torah. And this is why he is the Torah made flesh. He's not Elohim Most High. He's the one that knows the Torah so well that when he was born to us, there is nobody better qualified than our Messiah to explain this to us. Some of these things, the Torah is very, very precise, but there's things that our Messiah brings to us that gives us a better understanding of exactly how we're supposed to be walking this. 3. And there came to him bringing a paralytic carried by 4, and not being able to come near him because of the crowd, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken through, they let down the bed on which the paralytic was lying. So this is a big deal, guys. This is hardcore, right? These 4 people, I don't know, getting up on a roof by yourself is one thing. Taking a guy on a bed up onto a roof is a whole nother thing, right? Somehow these guys, the 4 of them, were able to take this crippled guy who could not walk at all up to the roof. Did they have him on the ground? Did they pull him up to the side? How did they get this guy up? I don't know how they got this guy up, but these 4 people should get a whole bunch of stars. They did a whole bunch of great things. Just this level of faith of getting a guy up on the roof to be able to lower him down to where Messiah is, that's some good friends. You found friends when they do things like that for you. 5. And when Yahushua saw their belief, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven you." Now, some of the scribes were sitting there and reasoning in their hearts, "Why does this one talk like this? He is blaspheming. Who is able to forgive sins but Elohim alone?" And immediately, Yahushua, knowing in his spirit that they were reasoning that way within themselves, said to them, "Why do you reason about all this in your hearts? Which is easier to say to the paralytic, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Rise, take up your bed and walk'? But in order for you to know that the Son, the Ben of Adam, possesses authority on earth to forgive sins," he said to the paralytic, "I say to you, rise, take up your bed, and go to your house." Now, having somebody be able to forgive sins is going to be a foreign thing to all of them. More than likely, they are going to think that this guy was blaspheming, because if I came to you, or, here's the funny thing, right? You have the Catholics, and they do the same thing, right? You have this little sideshow in a box, and this guy is going to forgive you of your sins. When this guy is into all sorts of pedophilia and all sorts of crazy, creepy stuff, but he's going to tell you, "I forgive your sins." That's how crazy it was. But yet you have the entire religion of Catholicism that's the only way that they could ever have their sins forgiven, is to tell it to some man. And then what? Then what sins? I mean, they're going to be living on their sins to the very end. So this example was so that all of us understood that the power and the authority that our Messiah possesses. He's not just coming down here on his old whim. He is coming down here with the power of Elohim to do amazing things. So continuing on, 12. The paralytic, and he rose straightway and took up the bed and went out before all, so that all were amazed and praised Elohim, saying, we have never seen the like of it. And again, this is the celebrity status. It's going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling until Messiah has no place to hang out. 13. And he went out again by the sea, and all the crowd was coming to him, and he taught them. And passing by, he saw Louis of Caliph sitting at the tax office, and he said to him, follow me. And having risen, he followed him. And it came to be as he sat at the table at his house that many tax collectors and sinners also sat with Yahushua and his Talmidim, for there were many, and they followed him. And when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eating with the tax collectors and sinners, they said to his Talmidim, why does he eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners? And hearing this, Yahushua said to them, those who are strong have no need of a physician, but those who are sick I did not come to call the righteous to repentance, but sinners. And again, this is absolutely true, because the people that that Yah Scriptures, that boss clan that we are ministering to in prison, they're very, very spiritually sick. Most of the people that I talk to have never ever heard of the Torah. They don't even know what that is. And it is a brand new encounter. Every time I find a new brother and a new email for them, and we start going back and forth, and I start sending these commands, some of the guys have their eyes light up. They're like, what? We've never been taught this. Our parents never said anything like this. And I'm like, yeah, this is amazing stuff, guys. This is the laws of our Creator, not the laws of man. And so that is one thing that we've been doing is we have these guys that have basically been thrown away. They've been thrown away into a land of death, despair, and depravity, which is the United States prison system. And there's no hope. And so we're able to get these scriptures into these guys, and there's guys with tzitzits on, guys, that have taken apart their bed, that have dyed them with grape juice and have walked around. They're walking around with tzitzits now, and they're calling on the name of our Creator. There's also guys like hardened criminals that they say, shalomi, homie. That's how I start with a lot of my emails. I'm like, shalomi, homie. And they're like, oh man, Jason, that is so amazing. And so you have these guys that are the hardest dudes that you would ever run into, and they're softening up, right? Their hearts of stone are becoming hearts of flesh, and they're circumcising their hearts, and they're finding this out. And had we not gone into the sick, if we were not able to get to the sick and minister to the sick, then these souls would all be dead, because all of these prisons have these demonic, satanic, faith-based Christian people. They have all these people, and they also have the Sabbath keepers, which are like all Talmudic Jews that are in there, and the guys have no idea. The guys are like, well, we have all these laws that we've heard from Sabbath keepers. I'm like, guys, these are all doctrines of men. This is the way forward, and we ship them a Yah Scriptures, and we encourage them to read, and we write back and forth, and there is so much amazing stuff that's going on. And this is what Messiah is talking about right here, right? If we're hanging with all those who are healthy, and we're not willing to sit with those in depravity, then we're never, ever going to make a change. We're never, ever going to make the change of those that absolutely need it the most. 19. And Yahushua said to them, are the friends of the bridegroom able to fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they are not able to fast. But the day shall come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then they shall fast in those days. And no one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. Otherwise the renewed piece pulls away from the old, and the tear is made worse. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise the new wine bursts the wineskins, and the wine runs out. And the wineskins are ruined. But new wine is to be put into fresh wineskins. Guys, these are these things that are kind of hard to understand. But when you are somebody who's in a sewing person, that makes a tremendous amount of sense, right? And I guess a lot of this goes to the questions that we were answering at the beginning of this. How do we deal with those in drug addiction? How do we deal with those that are already programmed? How do we deal with those that are already saved, right? They know they're completely saved. Well, we can't use the same old doctrine, because the old doctrine, it breaks, right? We're not going to be able to fix them with the doctrine. We have to have the correct doctrine, and that's not found anywhere except in the first books of Scripture. That is what the doctrine is. And so when we give people another foundation, when we show people that there is another way other than this once saved, always saved crap that comes out of people's mouths, there is a different way, and it's all about Torah. But it's something that we have to put that old man away. We can't take our Christianity and our upcoming in Babylon and just just start, have a couple Torah commands and then still keep Christmas, still keep Passover, or not Passover, but keep New Year's Day, all of this stuff, right? We have to get rid of it all, or we're using old wineskins. We're going to break. Everything that we learn and unprogram ourselves comes from unprogramming ourselves, because I don't know any of us that were based up in Torah. If there's any of you guys out there that had parents that were in Torah, that you guys actually know this, shouts to your parents. That's amazing. I've just never found them. So continuing on. And it came to be that he went through the grain fields on the Shabbat. And as they went, his Talmidim began to pluck heads of grain. And the Pharisees said to him, "Look, why do they do what is not right on the Sabbath?" And he said to them, "Have you ever read what David did when he was in need and was hungry, he and those with him?" Okay, let's talk about this first, right? We don't have a Torah command that says we can't pluck a head of grain. This all comes out of the Talmud. It comes out of the Pharisaical readings and writings and the oral Torah, the Zohar, all of this Babylonian mysticism that they came out of when they went into Babylon. Like when you had the bottom tribes, when you had Judah and you had Benjamin, that they went into captivity in Babylon, when they came out, they had all of the same traditions of men before they ever went in. 70 years later, they came out and they were already violated. They already had a whole bunch of stuff. They already had month names. They started naming months after this. It was a mess. And so continuing on, what these guys are accusing him of are things that are not in Torah. We don't have a command. In fact, we do have a command that says you are not supposed to glean all of your field. You're supposed to leave the edges for the poor, the homeless, the broke, those who cannot eat. And so in a perfect world that is a law-abiding, Torah-based society, if you were broke, it's not a big deal, because you could go walk over to your neighbor's field and grab some grain and eat it, and you're not going to die. That's how our Creator has set us, so that we are able not to die. And so these guys are attacking him. And his response is, "Didn't you know what David did when he was in need and hungry?" Now, Eli, tell me the story about David and what's going on.
So David was on the run from Saul when he and his men were all really hungry and they had nothing to eat. So they go into the temple and they eat the showbread that only the priests are supposed to eat.
Yeah, and you're not talking just some dudes. You're not talking about like holy dudes. When David was on the run, he was with his band of killing machines. Like, David is probably one of the greatest killers of all times that there are. He and his crew of people, this is the dude who you would not want to fight against. His people, his guys, are the guys you would not want to fight against. And these guys were starving. They were literally starving to death, and they made it into the temple, and they had showbread, and and you were not to eat it. This only for the priest. But David ate it. He did not get struck down. He did not die. And in fact, Messiah even talks about the need that he had, that Elohim was fulfilling his need for this. Continuing on in 26, it says, "How he went into the house of Yahuwah while Ebithar, the Kohanim Hagdadal, and ate the showbread, which is not right to eat, except for the Kohanim, and he gave it also to those who were with him. And he said to them, the Shabbat was made for man, and not man for the Shabbat. So the Ben of Adam is also the Adon of the Shabbat." Tells us a lot of stuff, right? Number one is man is insignificant when it comes to the appointed times of our Creator. The Shabbat was built long before man was even plotted and planned. I don't know if that's true, but I'm guessing it was, because this was something that it happens. Of the Creator, it happens every day, every week. And so we also learn from this that our Messiah is also the Lord of all these things, right? And this is not saying he's Elohim Most High, because you will get these people that are tripped into these satanic doctrines of the Trinity, and they'll go, well, look, he's the Lord of the Sabbath. That doesn't mean he's Elohim Most High. It means that he's the leader, he's the ordained leader, he's the one that is very much qualified to be the one that we need when the time comes. And so, guys, with that, I think we have, I think we actually went on a little longer here. So I hope that does it. I'm looking through these things. I have my huge, beautiful... Oh, Big Red's back.
Yep, Rodney.
Rodney. I haven't seen him for a while. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, have it your way. Burger King religion. Yeah, Rick Johnson, absolutely. Have it your way. Exactly. And that's what Christianity is. Okay, guys. Well, there was a lot to talk about. I really love chatting with you guys all. This is as much as our time it is your time, when we could sit and talk with like-minded people who love our Creator. We're walking the path to the very best of our abilities. You know, guys, Boss Clan doesn't have the answers to everything, but the answers do lie in Scriptures. And for all of us, when we read the Scriptures, we're not just emboldening ourselves, we are giving ourselves the keys to the kingdom. We're looking for that mansion in our Messiah's Father's house, which he says is built. And I believe all of this. I believe our Messiah is coming back. I believe the goodness that comes out of Scriptures, because I can see the evil that has spawned in this world, and I have seen it from when I was a youth to where it is now, and it is dark out there, guys. It is grim, it is disgusting, it is satanic, and everybody's basking in the nastiness of this world. And so there's a few of us that are the set apart people, and it is amazing to sit with you guys and to read Scriptures and to be a part of this. So Eli, are you going to bless the people?
Yep.
All right, bless the people, Eli.
Yahuwah block you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall barak them.
All right, so brothers and sisters, we love you all. We're going to end with this. We love you. We hope you have a good day. We hope you're seeking the Creator. We hope that we can give each other huge, big, hairy, bearded hugs in the kingdom to come. At least from my side, you get the big beard in your face. I will give you guys a big hug. I'm going to high five you all, and we're going to congratulate each other that, hey, we saw it, we read it, and we were able to do it. And it's going to be a path that all of us have to have with clean hearts, clean minds, clean souls, and a different look than the rest of the world has. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down.
right, beautiful family. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his grace forever be a part of your life. May the Torah be everything in your life. May Messiah Yahushua be the Savior that gets us all from where we need to go, from point A to point B. And we love you all. Have a wonderful week. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.